The bad lighting. Let me shed some light on this. The lighting is bad. Maybe that would be better. Hopefully that's better. All right. All right, lighting is not what we wanted there to begin with, but hopefully that's better. Maybe I need to angle this in a way so I can get better lighting. Well, doesn't really help. Doesn't really change the lighting, but we're gonna go ahead on. All right. How's everybody doing today? Today we're doing something a little bit different, and we're gonna be doing something different from now on out on our Saturday broadcast. Okay. Give me a second. We are live on YouTube. Let me go ahead and get started here. Okay, this is being recorded live on YouTube. All right, good morning, everybody. I know my lighting is not what it should be. For some reason, I guess because of the overcast today, I'm not getting that much natural light, and I've tried to position my computer to where the lighting would be better, but it doesn't seem to be helping. I seem to be still like in the shadows. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today, I am going to be introducing the RBBS LLC corporate consulting. Now, normally our broker's hour is normally for some training tips for brokers, for people who are trying to become freight brokers. But I've noticed that, you know, in the last 3 years, there've been a lot of new freight brokers coming on the scene, but about 89% of all first-year freight brokers go out of business within the first 2 years. and there's a reason why that is. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Let me test my mic to make sure everybody can hear me. All right, that's good. Testing. All right, so everybody can hear me. All right, everybody should be able to hear me. All right, great. But there's been a lot of brokerage firms cropping up, and within 2 years, they're out of business. And there's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. I'm gonna be, and today we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about what we are doing to try and help those brokerage firms to become profitable within the first 2 years. And when I say profitable, I mean $2.5 to $5 million in revenue within the first 2 years. That's what I mean by profitable. So that's what our consulting firm is going to do for them. I'm going to explain to you what our consulting firm does and who we are. And I'm also going to be announcing today that we are on a massive hiring campaign to hire and train consultants to work within our firm. Now, our consulting firm is already contracted with 2 startup brokerage firms. One is going to be doing a lot of intermodal stuff because this broker they have their own cargo ship. So we've signed on with them to manage their brokerage firm for 10 years. We've signed on with another startup brokerage firm to manage their firm for 10 years. Now, these are long-term commitments. These are long-term commitments. So when we start seeking individuals to work as consultants within our firm, we are looking for people who are going to be able to commit to a company, to a firm, long-term to help them get to where they need to be. We're going to provide you with the training. We're going to provide to you some of our trade secrets, well, all of our trade secrets, and we're going to provide for you a roadmap to how you're going to accomplish this with each of these brokerage firms. Now, before you come on and work for our consulting firm, you're going to have to sign an NCND. For those of you who don't know what an NCND is, that's a non-compete, non-disclosure form, because the strategies that we use and things that we use to implement and get these brokerage firms to that 2.5 million in 2 years, and to that 20 to 40 million in 5 to 6 years, and to that $500 million to more than $1 billion plus in yearly revenue after 10 years. That's those strategies that we use are strategies that I develop. No one else is using them. No one. Okay. And it's not just one particular strategy. It's several different strategies that I develop, and I use them in conjunction with each other that makes this possible, that makes the whole thing possible. And since I did that, I've trademarked my my business and those strategies. So now they have become intellectual property. That is intellectual property that's owned by RBBS, owned by the RBBS LLC, which is the same firm that owns the RBBS Logistics Learning Center, the same firm that owns RBBS Transport, LLC, and Easy Lease, and all of the other subsidiaries that falls under that heading. So that is how we are set up. Now, as I said before, normally we will be, giving points and tips, pointers and tips, the brokers, and this hour is usually set aside for broker training. But I've come to the conclusion that more needs to be done. We need to work directly with brokerage firms. Literally, we need to get into their firm, work with them directly, hire their people, train their people, do their recruiting, implement a new compensation plan, implement new operations on how they operate the whole 9 yards. Now, I can't get into exactly how we do that, but I can tell you what we're going to do, but I can't tell you exactly how we do it, because that's part of our intellectual property and our trade secrets. So I can't get into that. Now, first of all, let me check on my YouTube people to make sure see who's on here on YouTube this morning. Y'all give me a second. Pull them up. All right, who do we have on YouTube this morning? Looks like we have 4 watching so far on YouTube, 5 watching, and the number is growing. Okay. Elicia, oh so fly. Good morning. How you doing this morning? All right, so that number is growing on YouTube. All right, let's go back to our little thing here. There we go. All right. So first of all, let me share my screen here. We'll get to where I need to be. All right. First of all, let's talk about our consulting firm. RBBS, LLC Corporate Consulting is for freight brokerage startups. Okay, better talent, better culture, measurable results. If you want to get in contact with us, you can give us a call toll free at 866-973-6445. Just hit extension 1 or extension 2, and then you either get myself or Darren Stevens. The consulting firm itself is owned and operated by myself, Calvin Butler, and Darren Stevens of DZR Logistics. He is my business partner. Now, Darren started out as one of my students. I taught him just about everything that I could possibly teach him, and especially in auto hauling, he went and took that to a whole different level. I mean, just a completely different level. I mean, when I was doing auto hauling, I think the best I was doing was about $7,500 a week. $7,500 a week. That was about the best I was doing in auto hauling. I taught Darren my unique way of doing the auto hauling. He took that and turned it around, and within 4 weeks time of him joining our platform. Before that, he didn't know anything about trucking, didn't know anything about freight, didn't know anything about brokering or dispatching or any of that stuff. You know, really didn't even know what auto hauling was. I'll be honest with you. But in 4 short weeks, he went from that to more than 10 grand a week, and consistently was doing that every week. So look, I'm not at all, you know, it's not at all beneath me to to take a bow to Darren Stevens, because he took it to a whole new level. So quite obviously, when I decided to do this consulting, I wanted to bring him in because a lot of brokerage firms are getting into the auto haul side, and there's nobody that I can think of who was better suited to come in and partner with me to head up that division of each brokerage firm that we go into than Darren Stevens, because he just took it and just took it to a whole new level. All right. So what will our consultants be doing when they when we hire them on with our consulting firm? Okay, they say it, as we say here, our consultants will implement a national recruitment campaign, train your executives and agents, implement performance-based residual compensation, enhance revenue, increase productivity and efficiency, thus creating an efficient business model designed to streamline your operational functions in a way that easily scales in order to generate consistent revenue growth and avoid stall points without adding excessive extra costs to your bottom line and or resources along the way. All right. Therein lies the reason why a lot of you new brokerage firms can't compete and why you go out of business within your first year. That's one of the biggest reasons right there, is because you're trying to operate, you are emulating the successful brokerage firms, and the successful brokerage firms are C.H. Robinson, TQL, Landstar, you know, some of these other mid-range brokerage firms that are doing more than $1 billion a year. Definitely those brokerage firms that are doing more than $500 million a year. Now, believe it or not, brokerage firms do make that kind of money if you're successful, if you have the resources, if you have the manpower, okay, if you have the clout. But these pop-up independent brokerage firms that are going on now, that these freight broker trainers are basically telling people, you know, hey, go get your bond, go get your insurance, get your authority, you know, get your SAC code, you know, that type of stuff, and hey man, you good to go. I mean, that's all you need to make $1 million. Wrong. That's all you need to get yourself in trouble and spend all your money and be out of business in 2 years. Okay, that's all that's gonna do. Because if that's all you're depending on, if that is the only thing that you've been told that you need to be successful, all that is going to accomplish is you wasting your money and getting discouraged, and then feeling like someone took advantage of you, feeling like the industry took advantage of you, and someone lied to you. And inside of 2 years, you're out of business, and you're mad at the world because you done spent tens of thousands of dollars and you wasted that money and just gone. Now that's the truth. If the truth hurts, turn off my channel and go somewhere else. Go watch, you know, Superman or Wonder Woman or Marvel comics. Go watch some fantasy. Okay, but the truth of the matter is, getting your bond, getting your authority, getting your assurance, getting your SAC code, getting all that stuff is not going to make you successful as a broker. Approximately 90% of you that is doing that, you're going to be out of business within your first 2 years. Okay, you're going to be out of business within your first 2 years. And a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. You've been brokering now for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And you ain't made a dime. You ain't signed on not one shipper. And you can't figure out, why can't I make money? What am I missing? I'm doing the same thing that TQL is doing, right? My compensation plan is based off of what their compensation plan is. Everybody says you come into the brokerage firm, you get all these bonds and stuff, pay all this money, this and that. Then you go out and you hire yourself a freight broker agent, you get some agents, you pay them 70% because they do all the work. You know, they find the shippers, they contract the shippers, they load the stuff up on the load board, they go out and they contract these carriers to run my loads, and they book these loads, and I pay them 60 to 7% to 70%, and then we just gonna grow and make money. So why is it not happening? Because you're trying to do it like TQL is doing. You're trying to do it like C.H. Robinson is doing. You're trying to do it like Landstar is doing, and some of these other brokerage firms that are making more than $500,000 a year. Did you all know that C.H. Robinson is at the top of the food chain and they're expected to do $36 billion this year in revenue? Yeah. Did you all know that TQL is on track to do about 12 to $13 billion this year in revenue? Hell, by June, that was already at $6 billion. How you gonna do what they do? You ain't got that kind of money. You ain't got that kind of staff. TQL has approximately 1,200 brokers. How are you gonna operate like them? You don't have the money to operate like them. You don't have the staffing to operate like them. You don't have the pool. You don't have the credentials to operate like them. Okay, you don't have it. You can't do it. Okay, so good morning. Someone just said good morning. All right, you can't operate like them, but everyone is basically using their format, their operational format, to start and run your little rinky-dink small brokerage firm with just you and maybe 4 other people. And there's no way on God's green earth you're going to be able to compete with them. There's no way on God's green earth that you're going to be able to be profitable, because they can afford to spend 70 to 75% of their brokerage fee to compensate their employees, to run their business, to operate that way. Why? Because they have the numbers. They have the carrier sign up. They have the shippers. They have the clout that it took to get those shippers. They have the credentials. Now, before you say, well, yeah, because they've been in business a long time. No, TQL came on the scene. I think they came on the scene less than 12 years ago. Less than 12 years. 12 years ago, they were a startup. And now they're the second most profitable brokerage firm on the face of the planet. How did they do that? How did they do it? Okay, well, that's the big secret, right? So they're not going to tell you how they did it. They show you the results, but they don't tell you how they did it. They don't tell you how they went from a very small brokerage firm starting out to where they are. Now, look, did they have investors? More than likely they did, because that is the easy way to do it. But can everybody get investors now? And is that always the most prudent thing? Now, when I first came on the scene with my brokerage firm, y'all can look it up, RBBS Transport LLC, there's stuff all over the internet about it. We got we got reviews on Indeed and Google and everything. Talk about the kind of money that our people made. All that stuff's on there. The salaries, everything, even the reviews, they're on there. Okay. My first year brokerage firm, we grossed $7.6 million. My first year as a brokerage firm. Now you probably say, well, Kevin, how did you do that? Well, I made the mistake. It could have been, well, I look at it, I'm as a mistake. I made the mistake of going out and getting investors. I followed that kind of like that same path, a part of that path that TQL and some of the big brokerage firms did. Now I started out, following their path, following, their example. I realized that I needed money, so I went and got myself 2 investors, right? A law firm and a professional sports management firm. One invested about $286,000. The other one invested about $276,000, $268,000 or $76,000. Either way, when you go out and get investors, you lose control of your firm. Why? Because he who has the money is the boss. He who pays the cost is the boss. That's just how life is. Okay. So they came in with the money. So therefore, I could not remain the boss because it was their money. So they put someone from their firm in as the boss, as CEO, and then I delegated down to a position of COO, Chief Operations Officer. But the Chief Executive Officer is the person who is there to watch the money. Okay, his job was to make sure that that money was being spent the way that it should be spent, and that that they made a good investment. Now, it didn't matter that this person knew absolutely zero squash, zilch about trucking or freight or how to run a brokerage firm or anything about the freight and trucking industry. Didn't know anything about it. All that mattered is they had a connection to the money. So therefore, they were the boss, right? So there we were. I was now not in control of my own company. I was still the COO, Chief Operations Officer, and I was pretty much running things. But that person who was above me with them three little letters CEO still had the most power. So how do you get that back? Well, you got to buy your power back, which means you got to make your firm successful. Now, the first 3 or 4 months that I was running that firm, I tried to emulate TQL. I tried to emulate C.H. Robinson. I tried to emulate Landstar. I tried to emulate all the successful brokerage firms. Bad idea. Bad idea. Because even though I had some money, I didn't have near as much money as what they had. And that little money that I did have, $600 plus $1,000, we were burning through it trying to operate like a TQL, like a C.H. Robinson, like a Landstar. So we were burning through that money. And I realized that, actually I realized it within the first 2 months, but it took me another 2 months to convince the quote unquote CEO who knew nothing about the industry that we were operating the wrong way. We needed new strategies. We needed strategies that would fit for our small firm. We needed strategies that would allow us to keep twice as much of our brokerage fee as TQL was keeping and C.H. Robinson and those big brokerage firms. We needed to come up with a way to pay our broker agents great pay, but pay out less percentages of the brokerage fee. That's a big conundrum. You're going to make them more money, but you're going to pay less out of your brokerage fee. How are you going to do that? Well, that's one of those secrets I can't tell you on here. Okay, that's part of our trademark. That's part of our intellectual property. Okay, but rest assured, I figured it out. I figured it out. I came up with all these different strategies, and I had to go through hell and high water to convince that CEO who knew nothing about the trucking or freight industry, so that he could go to the people with the money and say, "Hey, we got a new strategy." Because that's how it works. The person in charge is always going to take the credit for, the achievements. We have a new strategy. All right. So we, meaning I, implemented those new strategies, and lo and behold, we started making money hand over fist. Good God. Because we were spending a whole lot less. We wasn't burning through that investment money now. Now, not only were we not burning through the investment money, we didn't even need to touch that investment money anymore, because the new strategies that we implemented caused us to profit and not spend anything unless we already had it made. Okay, now Kevin, you got me kind of intrigued now. How do you not spend anything until after you've already made it? Well, I can't tell you that. That's part of the trade secrets. Okay, I can't really tell you that. All right. Now, with that being said, you all know what happened next. Made a lot of money, 7.6 million. Now I had to buy my firm back. Now, you don't just go in and say, well, I know you gave me 266,000, you gave me 286,000. Here's your 266,000 back, here's your 286,000. It don't work that way. They're not in this just to get back what they put in, right? First of all, they want to make a profit, and they want to keep making a profit. It's a good business venture. If you're gonna buy them out, you got to offer them something. You got to offer them not just twice what they put into it, not just 3 times what they put into it, but almost 4 or 5 times what they put into it just to buy your business back. So most of that 7.6 million went to buying my business back, so I could get control of my own company again. I had to buy my way out of that investment deal for what they paid us. So out of that 7.6 million, I walked away with about $150,000. The rest of it wound up going to those two investors to buy my business, but it was worth getting my business back. So that's why I say I made a mistake, because I really didn't need that, but I thought I needed it. Because I was trying to run my business, my small brokerage firm, my small startup firm. I was trying to run it the same way TQL was running theirs. Landstar was running theirs. C.H. Robinson was running theirs. I was trying to run my business emulating what all of the quote unquote successful brokerage firms were doing. And that's what you all are doing right now. Most of you who are struggling, who haven't signed on a shipper, who can't, and if you do have shippers, most of your money is spent paying your people, paying this, paying that. By the time you're left done, you're only left with about what? 15% of your brokerage fee. And you can't operate on that. You certainly can't make a profit on that. Okay. And what I figured out is, after I came up with these strategies, I figured out I don't need their money. I don't need their money. And I never really did. I just needed to figure out a way to keep more of my brokerage fee and run my firm at the same time and pay my people great pay at the same time. I figured that out. Because we started, our broker agents started making anywhere from $180,000 to $200,000 a year. That's what it was making. On average, we had some on the low end making 86,000, 110,000. We had some in the very few in the very middle that was making like 120, 130,000. But we had those who were making over $200,000 a year within our brokerage firm. And we still was able to grow after all that, after paying our people about $7.6 million, which most of that went to pay back my investors. So I really never needed those investors after I figured out what type of strategies I need to implement into my firm. And that's what we're going to be training our consultants to do, to implement these strategies. Okay. Now, our consultants, they're going to be paid same way we are paid. They're paid on performance. If we get the brokerage firms to profitability, to making money, we'll make money. Thus, our consultants will make money. Okay, that's where we're set up. And I can just do some very basic numbers. I can't get into how these numbers are derived, not on this live Zoom for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons, we can't get into how the numbers are derived, but I can show you some very basic rudimentary numbers here. Okay. Now, our firm contracts two ways. You can contract our firm on a 10-year contract. If you contract us for 10 years, there's no money paid up front. You don't pay us anything up front. This way you can't lose anything. You don't pay us anything up front. Our compensation for coming in and managing your brokerage firm for the next 10 years is 6.5%. I can't talk. Y'all give me a second here. I can't talk to Brock right now. Y'all give me a second. Let me send this gentleman a message. I can't talk to him right now. Where's my recent calls? Y'all give me a second. Let me send him a message. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. Let me test my mic real quick again, make sure y'all can still hear me. Yeah. All right, great. Testing. All right, great. All right. Sorry about that. I got a call that comes in. Every time a call comes in, my phone cuts off and it goes over to my headset cuts off and goes over to the phone because it's connected both to my phone and my Zoom. So when one comes in, it drops you all and connects with the phone. So I do apologize for that. All right, let's look at some of these rudimentary numbers. Because remember, our goal is to get the brokerage firms in the first 2 years to $2.5 million. Okay. Now, That is what that's after paying everybody. It's after paying everybody. All right. That's after paying everybody. So what are we really looking at? We're looking at $2,500,000 approximately. That's after about 33.75% has already come out. So if you add that 33.5% back to that 33.75%, that means they've paid out in that year $843,750. Now, do they pay that money out before they make it? No, no. This is the money that came out of each brokerage fee. Now, believe it or not, this number is based on us signing them up to one shipper. That one shipper sending them just 100 loads per day. And the brokerage firm is booking only 25% of those loads each day. That's 25 loads a day. That allows them to pay out that much money from each brokerage fee, which allows them to make that kind of money right there, 2.5 million. Because altogether, they made $3,343,750. Now that's paying all their people. That's paying us. That's us paying the consultants. Okay, everybody's getting paid out of that. And they're gonna take their take is $2.5 million. That's based on just one shipper for the whole year. And that one shipper is only sending them 100 loads per day. And out of those 100 loads per day, we're only booking 25% of those loads. Now, a lot of you are racking your brain right now trying to figure out how you're going to do this. Well, that's part of the trade secret. Can't tell you that right now. I can't tell you that. If you want to learn that, give us a call, sign an NCND. Then we will have a Zoom meeting with you, show you everything, how it's all done, this is and that. And if you want to contract with us, you can contract with us. But we don't do that unless you sign that NCND. Because if you sign that NCND, then you go and use what we just shared with you, in spite of you signing that NCND, we're going to sue you and take everything you got. Okay? Simple as that. All right? So I can tell you that much alone. All right? Now a lot of you probably say, well, Calvin, you're just doing this a teaser. Exactly. That's exactly what this is. This is just a teaser. I'm not going to give you the whole meal if you ain't paid for it. Is you crazy? No, this is just a teaser. Okay, that's what this is. All right, but suffice to say that we have figured out how to get these brokerage firms to profitability within the first 2 years, and then after 5 years, they're at $20 to $40 million a year, and then after 10 years, they're at $500 million to more than $1 billion per year. Now, there's another way that you can contract our firm. You can contract us to a 2-year contract. If you don't want to be tied to us for a long period of time, you don't want us walking you through, holding your hand, helping you to create and scale your business during that period of time. You contract us for 2 years. If you do that, then you're gonna have to pay a $20,000 retainer up front. And we collect 3.5% of your revenue each month. Okay, for the 2 years that we manage. Okay, that's it. Those are the 2 ways that you can contract us. Now, we've already started our our recruiting campaign for the first firm that we have contracted, and we're starting our recruiting campaign for the second firm coming up this week. We already hired a consultant to be the lead consultant for that second firm that we have contracted with. And I've got about 5 or 6 other firms who've already told me that they want to retain our services. We haven't signed a contract with them yet. We've been holding off until we get more consultants in, and we hire more consultants, and we train more consultants, and then we'll start bringing those firms in and place those consultants in with those firms. Okay. Now, once we bring you in as a consultant, then we will go into the training phase of training our consultants, and then and there is when we will let you know what you're going to be doing on a weekly, from week to week basis. One of the things that you will be doing, you will be conducting training each week with the firm that you are managing. Okay, you'll be training their people. You're going to be in charge of implementing the Indeed recruiting campaign, interviewing the candidates that you're going to be hiring, and you're going to be training them. Now, once you get them trained, it's just a matter of them going out doing what they do, the firm itself doing what it does, and you're just there to make sure that these people are efficiently trained every single week, and that all the things that you have implemented, compensation, all that type of stuff, the administrative, operational, day-to-day workings of the business, you make sure that stuff is happening. And you're helping them to scale their business because you're continually recruiting each and every week. You're continually hiring and bringing on their people, and you're continually training their people in your weekly Zoom live training sessions. And we're going to train you on what to train them on. Once a month, Darren and I will come in and we will conduct the training for you so you can get a better understanding of how it's done and kind of, model your training by what we do. Okay. Now, our consultants are going to be paid 2.25%. I have to check with Darren again, but I do believe we settle on 2.25%, 2.25% or 2.5% of the revenue from that brokerage firm. Now, remember that 2.5 million that first 2 years was based on, or that 3.3 million was based on just one shipper. One little old measly backwater hillbilly up in the woods shipper that's only sending you 100 loads per day. And out of those 100 loads a day, that brokerage firm is only booking 25% of them each day, 25 loads a day. Okay. And that's what the average broker fee is of just $600. I can tell you that much. Okay. That's where all that money comes from. So what happens when you get 2 shippers? 3, 4, 5 shippers. How are you going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 shippers? Because you're going to be bringing into the firm anywhere from 60 to 120 new employees every month. And their job is to do what? Call shippers, get shippers signed up, book freight, right? It's not that hard. Once you know what the strategies are to make all this happen. Once we teach you the strategy, once we reveal to you the strategies that you're going to use to make all this happen, then it's going to become an aha moment. It's going to become an aha moment. Now, if you want to be a consultant with us, give me a call, 866-973-6445, or send us an email at training@theRBBSLLC.org. That's training@theRBBSLLC.org. I'll put it underneath this the comment section and the direction section in this video. Okay. If you're wanting to go to work for one of these brokerage firms that we are managing, we have our social media recruiting campaign is already up and going. Our Indeed recruiting campaigns will begin this coming week, so you all will start seeing them in different cities throughout the country on in the Indeed publications and things like that. So you all will start seeing that stuff. If you're looking for for careers online, you'll start seeing it pop up in the Indeed areas. Okay. And we're going to be on a nationwide recruiting campaign because we're going to be looking to bring in anywhere from 60, 70, executives per firm to 140, executives per firm, each year. Okay. That's our goal. That's our goal. That's how we're going to scale them to the size that they're going to need to be and the money that they're going to need to be bringing in that 10 years. Okay. All right. Quick questions. There's a lot of stuff I can't answer. So if you ask me something that's going to cause us to talk about our intellectual property or reveal how it is we do things, I'm not going to be able to answer those. Okay. I'm going to ask you to, submit your application, give me a call, send you an NCND, that type of stuff, and then we can go from there. All right. On YouTube, what do we have here? We have GGC. Good morning, Mr. Calvin. I'm on Central Standard Time. I almost missed you. I originally logged on to Zoom, but you had not started yet. No, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. We're about 3 hours apart, I think. Alexander says, "Hi, Calvin. This is Alex checking in. Nice to see you check in, Alex. Good day to you too. It's your girl China. Says, if we're a part of the RBBS program, how do we get involved as a consultant? Same way everyone else gets involved. Okay. As a consultant with our firm, you're basically gonna just contact me, and if you're part of the platform, you already know how to contact me. You all have several different ways of contacting me. Contact me. Let me know you want to be a part of our consulting firm. I'm gonna have like a phone interview with you, and I think Darren and I are probably gonna have you to submit a resume. But if you're part of our platform, we have several opportunities that you can take advantage of. Other things that you all have opportunities to take advantage of within our platform, the firms that we are managing, the brokerage firms that we are managing, to get them off to a good start real fast, they are allowing us to use our network as independent contractors. So in other words, if you're already part of our platform, you can actually do work for the brokerage firms as an independent contractor and get paid the way they're going to be paying their people, the same exact way, but except you won't be an employee of them. You won't be a quote unquote employee of their firm. You'll be an independent contractor. And if you are a dispatcher, one part of that you can't do, but the other parts you can, because the other part would involve that would expose us to a conflict of interest. Okay, so just get in contact with me or Darren and let us know that, hey, I want to become a consultant within your corporate consulting firm. And then what we'll do is we're going to start having training for our consulting team. And then as we start getting clients, we're going to start, assigning those consultants to the new clients that we sign on. Okay, the new brokerage firms that we sign on to. It's your girl China. I always said as a consultant or an independent agent. And then got a question. Question answered. Okay, great. Michelle says hello. Hey Michelle, how you doing? It's your girl China. To the answer that I gave her, said that's awesome. I'll give you a call. I'd like to get involved. All right, great. All right, so yeah, there we have it. All right, let me go back up here. Let me where am I at here? Where am I at? I'm trying to find my little thing here. Okay, stop my share. All right, here we go. All right, get back over here. All right, look, that's pretty much it for today. All right, and now, are we going to continue to have the brokers hour? We're going to do broker training. I'm debating on not doing broker training, or I'm debating on dropping the broker training side because we have our consulting firm, and our consulting firm really is designed to work hands-on with brokers. And because our consulting firm has a no upfront fee option, young brokers really have nothing to lose, or first-year brokerage firms or new brokerage firms, they have nothing to lose in contracting us, because everything we do is performance-based. And if we don't make them money, they don't pay us any money. So you really don't have anything to lose. The only time where they would be obligated to pay us anything outside of that or upfront would be if they opted for the shorter term contract, the 2-year contract, which requires a $20,000 retainer upfront. Okay, so I'm leaning towards still doing some type of training for people who are thinking about becoming brokers and who haven't already paid their bond. Because I've got to tell you, to contract with our consulting firm, you must already have your bond. You must already have your authority, your broker's authority. You must have all your stuff already in place. Your insurance cert letter, your SAT code, all that stuff must be in place already in order to contract with us. You can't contract with us and say, well, I'm thinking about getting my bond. I'm thinking about getting I'm thinking about it. Well, you can't contract with us then. Until you have that in place, you can't contract with us because we only contracting with startup brokers. You have to be an actual brokerage firm before you can contract with us. Okay, so you would have to have already made that decision and that commitment to be a broker. Okay, and yes, there are a lot of brokers out there who've already started this journey, and they're starting to realize this journey has more bumps in the road than I anticipated, and I'm not going to be able to navigate this by myself. Okay, so if you are a brokerage firm out there right now, you've been running your firm, you haven't been making any money, or if you just gotten your bond and all your credentials, and you want to start off the right way, give us a call. 866-973-6445. 866-973-6445, extension 0, extension 1, or extension 2. Okay, give us a call or send us an email at training@RBBSLLC.org. That's training at T as in Tango, H as in Hotel, E as in Echo, RBBS, Romeo, Bravo, Sam, LLC, Lima, Charlie.org. That's training at the RBBSLLC.org. Okay. That's really all I have for the brokers hour. I got some other stuff that I want to talk about, but it's not the appropriate stuff for the brokers hour. We're making some real advancements on our RBBS logistics learning centers. Okay. We've got a gentleman who is a new RBBS owner. He's one of the same gentlemen who owns one of the brokers firm that we just contracted with, and he has his approvals for, well, he is on the actual committee or the board that approves grants for the U.S. Grant Department. I think he used to do the underwriting for the U.S. Grant Department, and his company is already, minority business qualified, which is going to get us that same distinction. His company already has all of the government funding type programs what he's approved for. So when he finished setting up his RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, his RBBS Logistics Learning Center will have all those approvals. Thus, all of the other owners of the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers will have those approvals because they will apply to all of the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers at that time, which is really, really great. It's going to cause us to make some serious moves when it comes to our the RBBS Logistics Learning Center, our vocational school, and our online training platform. So some big changes and big positive changes that are coming up here within the next month or so, next 2 months. Obviously he wants to get his brokerage firm off and going to a good start because he's got that cargo ship and a lot of the stuff he's trying to do, the auto haul stuff on that end. So once we get that up and running and get his staff in place, then we can look to go ahead and for him to go ahead and start working on getting his RBBS certified and approved with all these different government entities that he's already approved with. So that's great. That is, I can't tell you how excited I am about that. We have another new RBBS Logistics and Learning Center owner, Miss Rozier. She got her RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. I'm in the process of duplicating her sites now. So once I have her sites duplicated, I will send them to her for her to take ownership of them, and then she can take ownership of those, and she can start attaching her payment processing to her site, because by having you all to attach your own payment processing to it, that guarantees that all the money that you generate is going to go into your bank account. Okay, that's how the trademark works with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. All the money that your RBBS Logistics Learning Center generates, all the enrollment fees, all of the monthly subscription fees, all of the tuitions from the for the vocational school, all of the easy lease fees, all that stuff, all that goes into your bank account. And then at the end of the month, the last calendar day of each month, then you will pay back to RBBS the royalty percentage that is owed based on the level of trademark usage agreement you entered into. Okay, that's it. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all as always. Gary, I got your resume.
Okay, Calvin.
I do have it. I'm going to be calling you later on today to kind of go over that with you, and then we'll get you out your NCND. And then once we get your NCND out, then we'll get you out the link for the Zoom the Zoom orientation.
Okay.
And we're looking to have about 100 or so, maybe 200 people in that orientation, and that's going to take place probably in about 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Appreciate that.
All right. But I get that. But I will call you today. I've got a lot of people to call back on these resumes. I made a bunch of calls last night. That's what I was doing all day yesterday. Is basically conducting the phone interviews with the people who submitted their resumes. Now, a lot of you are on Facebook. You are you're commenting on the post that we have for the recruiting for the positions that we have available with these firms, and you're commenting with your email address. The post clearly states you must send your resume to our email address. We're not going to just take your email address and then just, what are we going to send to you? You have to send your resume to us. We're not trying to get a position with you. You're trying to get a position with us. So if you want to hear back from us, if you want us to give you a call for an interview, you got to send us your resume. Okay, so send the resume to training at the RBBSLLC.org. Okay, don't comment with your email address for us to send you something, because we're not going to send you anything. Okay, that's not gonna get a response. All the posts clearly state send resume to, or forward resume to, or resume sent to, and it gives you the email address to send that. That's what you must do. Okay. All right. So let's get that done. If y'all want to get a call back from us, and get that phone interview with us. So that's what you got to do. All right. Thank you all. I appreciate everybody for joining us today. I want to thank you all again. That's about it. We'll see you all. We have owners meetings on Monday, 7 p.m. I don't know what this week's going to look like, because if y'all haven't heard, there's a big hurricane out there that's headed towards Florida. So we may have training next week. We may not. That's up to the good Lord. Okay. So if the last time we had a big hurricane was Michael, and it knocked out power here, we didn't have power for almost 3-4 weeks. So I'm preparing. I've got sandbags and stuff. I bought a bunch of that stuff last week, yesterday and Thursday. I got a bunch of sandbags and stuff. I am putting Flex Seal all around my door, like to my man cave, around the bottom of the door and up to about 2 feet on the sides of the door, because when it rains, water comes flushing down here, and if it hits those doors, that water's going to come right in through the cracks of those doors and flood your place. So I'm flex sealing all of my doors and stuff that are facing the side, like where my man cave is, and my back door that comes to the man cave. I'm not worried about the front door or my side door that's on the deck, because my deck is about 3-4 feet off the ground. So I'm not worried about that. But that man cave is my garage that was converted into a man cave, into an actual room. So that door that leads out the back of the garage is ground level. So I've got which I never go out that door anyway. It's pretty much sealed, but I need to just go ahead and put that Flex Seal about 2 to 3 feet up around the side where the door opens, the bottom. I've got the bottom done, and about maybe a foot up, but I need to go and take it up about another 2 feet on Flex Sealing that, both on the inside and the outside, to prevent that water from seeping in through those cracks and getting into my man cave. So I'm gonna be kind of busy this weekend, trying to hurricane proof my home. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this glass. I should have bought some aluminum shutters, but yeah, I'm handy. I'll be able to do some stuff to kind of protect the place. But yeah, there's a major hurricane that's heading out to the Gulf. It looks like it's going to hit Florida directly and come up. Looks like it's going to touch somewhere between up around Tampa and then roll up through by Jacksonville, and we're only 101 miles from Jacksonville. Okay, Tallahassee is only about 114 miles from Jacksonville, and the eye of the storm is going to be rolling through there. We're going to get those very, very powerful outer bands. So, which is usually where most of the flooding and the wind is usually on the outer bands, because as it's swirling, if y'all know anything about a hurricane, it swirls and everything. Matter of fact, there's my business partner right there. Hey, Darren, how you doing? Darren, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just getting ready to wrap up. I was just introducing our consulting firm and letting people know we're going to be hiring consultants to fill these positions, to manage these firms that we're going to be contracting with. Brock just tried to call me. I was in the middle of my thing here, so I'll call him back after I get off this live.
Yeah, I was call him as well. I wanted to call him. I know he's on a different time zone, so
yeah. So Brock was trying to call me. You about ready for that hurricane?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to book some load right now with some waters. So that's why I came in late. So I have one more to complete right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of that FEMA stuff. Oh, by the way, everybody, there's gonna be a lot of FEMA stuff here, after this week, because of the hurricanes due to hit, and Florida is right in the path of it. And it's supposed to come in around your way, Darren, up there around Tampa, St. Pete, Jacksonville. That's where it's supposed to. That's where it's supposed to. That's where all the models, most of the models are predicted where it's going to come on. It's going to come on shore, and then head up straight up through Jacksonville, and we're on about 100 miles from Jacksonville, so naturally we're going to get a lot of the strong winds and the rain from the outer bands. So
right.
I'm getting some preparation done here too. And I remember last time we got hit was Michael, which gave us a direct hit. We was out. It took 4 weeks just to get power restored. So yeah. So I got I'm charging. I'm gonna make sure all my battery charges are up for my phones and for my computers and stuff. Because I got all these little these portable battery chargers, right? So making sure they're all plugged up, and so if the power goes out, they'll be fully charged, and then I have some extra power, for my computers and batteries. But that don't mean I'm gonna have the internet, because if the lines are down and stuff, the internet might not be up, which I could probably still plug them into my phones and run them off my my cell phone internet data. Because so I've got about 3 cell phones that I can run that off of too. So we'll see how it goes. I just stocking up on canned goods and water and some stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, but look, that's gonna do it. I thank you all, for joining us today, and so we can talk about our consulting firm and what we're doing for startup brokerage firms and how we're going to be helping them to be profitable, and also about how we're going to build our team of consultants. So if you all are interested in coming to work for our consulting firm, give us a call, 866-973-6445, extension 1, 2, or 0. Okay. I'll get Darren's extension, because he has an extension on our toll free number 2. I'll get his extension and put it out there. So if y'all want to call him, you call him also too. Now, mind you, Darren is always busy, so y'all give him some leeway. All right. But that's it. Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.